Action.
Hey everybody, we thought we'd put solar on our DRV 38R SSA coach, and Matt from Continuous Resources out of Price, Utah said he'd be happy to help us put a system together. We're going to put 6 panels up, 200 watts per panel for 1200 watts of solar, and we're going to keep all the equipment in the Magnum Energy brand so that we can continue to use our battery monitoring kit and our remote and everything else that we have. So come with us and we'll show you how it all goes together and how it works in the end. Well, the charge controller's in, and I'm sorry I didn't take any video of it, but the charge controller's in, and I thought I'd just show you what happens in the basement with all the electronics. So here's where it all happens, the basement of the rig. The solar wires coming down, we go into a cutout, and then they continue down and go into the charge controller itself, and then come out and go into another cutout, a breaker switch, and then it all goes into the power distribution units. So you can see I've got the Magnum inverter already installed, and now the charge controller, solar charge controller, and the power distribution spots. We're going to unbox the solar panels, and the mounting brackets are here, and we're going to see how they all fit. And everything came from Continuous Resources out of Utah, and we're going to open it up and see how the things go together. So these are high-tech solar panels. They're about 60 inches long, and they're 24 volts, and we're going to connect them up to I've got 6 of these panels I'm going to install. They're 200 watts each, so we'll have 1200 watts of solar on the roof of the coach, and it's all going to come down into a Magnum PT100 charge controller, which you've already seen, and then onto the battery bank, and this should give us plenty of power. Okay, so let's see how these brackets fit. Matt was telling me that these high-tech panels, each panel, he said, each manufacturer is a little different in the way that they develop their panels. They all have their own mounting holes and mounting bracket styles, and not a lot of them are set up for RVs. So what he asked us to do was to take a look and see how his idea for these brackets worked. So if you want to come a little closer, this is the bracket that he had specially made for these panels. And when he developed them, they're made out of steel, they're powder coated, they've got, I forget the type of nuts that he said that were on these, but he said they're just amazing. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this bracket and we're going to put it on the panel like so and line up the hole, and then he gave us a whole mess of stainless steel nuts and washers and bolts to bolt this up. So we're going to have one of these on each corner, and then in addition to that, once it goes up on the roof, so we're going to do that down here on the ground, and then once it goes up on the roof, these are the feet that mount on the roof of the coach, and then he's got 2 slots to be able to mount the panel, depending on whether you have a curved roof or not. So you're going to be able, it looks, I haven't measured it, but it looks like he's got an inch difference in the holes, so that you can adjust it either the top or the bottom hole. So I'll put these on and we'll see how they look. So he wants us to use the Norlock washers on all of the brackets, all the bracket hardware, and then also he has included these plastic handled bolts that are actually going to hold the brackets on to the panel itself. So I'm going to go ahead and put the bolts and the brackets on these panels, and we'll see how things go. So as I said before, Matt does a really good job of packaging everything. He's got everything you need per panel packaged in a Ziploc bag. These brackets are really, really nice. He did a very nice job on them. Well, I got all the panels up on the roof, and now it's just a matter of putting the feet on them. Feet are going on really, really well. I really like the design of these foot pads that Matt and Continuous Resources has designed. They're really easy to put on. As you can see, I've got my panels laid out on the roof. They're not in the exact location yet, but I did want to get them laid out so that I can make sure that the wire lengths were all good. So the feet go on real easy, and as you can see, they should hold real well. I've still got a notch that I could go up. I'm only off the roof by about 1/2 inch. I'm going to try that and see how it works. Yeah, I think it's going to work really, really well. So let's see how they go on. Okay, so we mounted the brackets on the roof, and we used the sticky tape on the back of the brackets to hold them onto the roof, and then we took the panels off and set them aside, and then drilled a pilot hole into the roof holes, and then used the 1/4 inch lag bolts to anchor them down. Okay, so all the mounts are on, and I grabbed the tilt brackets and tilted up all the panels so that I could get to the wiring. The tilt mechanism is really nice. He did a nice job on that. We'll take a little closer look. So there's not a whole lot to the tilt. You just leave one side in the bracket, and you use the tilt bar, lift it up, and put the wing nuts in. Works pretty well. So I've got all the panels up and tilted up so that I could get underneath the panels to run the wires to the junction box. Okay, so the installation is complete. I mounted the panels, dropped them down. I did end up using the upper hole in the bracket to give me better airflow underneath the panels to keep them cooler. So I mounted the panels up. I put split loom on all the wires. Probably not necessary, but I wanted to make sure that they were all protected from UV rays and any contamination that might be up there on the roof. About the only other thing I want to do is use some Turn-A-Bond tape and tape down the split loom in places so that the wires don't rub on the roof. They're stationary. Okay, the panels are on the roof, everything's hooked up, and I just thought I'd show you what the PT100 solar controller is doing for us. Now my batteries, it's early in the morning, we're not getting any direct sun, so to speak, but the little bit of sun that we are getting on an angle, we're getting a little over 41 volts out of the panels. We're getting 0.18 kilowatts of use. The batteries are showing 13.8 volts, and we're actually showing that the panels are putting out a little over 13 amps into the battery bank on a float charge. So I think we're going to be real happy with it, and we'll keep you posted as to how it works. Hey, I want to say thanks again to Matt from Continuous Resources out of Price, Utah. He answered all of my questions, was available anytime I needed to call, and very helpful. And I really like the design of his mounts. And I think if you decide to go that way, you'll be real pleased as well. So hopefully you give Matt a call and chat with him about your solar install, and I'm sure he'll be happy to help you out.